Good morning and welcome. My name is Tegan Moline and I serve on your fellowship board of directors. I want to thank you all for being here this morning and extend a special welcome to any visitors. If you would like more information about the fellowship, please visit the welcome table in the fireside room or sign our virtual guest book at uufames.org/guestbook. Whether you are joining us from home or here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to stay after the service for coffee fellowship, where you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with kindred spirits and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we have lots of announcements this morning because it's very busy around here. You may have noticed there are a bunch of tables in the fireside room this morning. Immediately following the service, after you grab your cup of coffee, come and join us for the engagement fair, where you can interact with our committees and learn about how you can get involved in the work that supports the life and very existence of the fellowship. Please join us. You might be surprised what goes on around here. If you are joining us on Zoom today, stick around for a Zoom community gathering with Reverend AJ. He'll try to make it through the traffic as quick as he can to get there. Next Saturday, on November 18th, the Art Committee will hold a reception for our new artist from 4 to 6 p.m. here in the fellowship. Please join them to meet Sarah and learn about her journey and artistic process. And lastly, please mark your calendars and plan on joining us for a congregational workshop with the UUA titled Breaking Barriers, Building Beliefs. This 2-session Zoom-based workshop will help us understand our unconscious biases so we can get the best ministerial candidate we can. The workshop will be Friday evening, December 1st, and Saturday morning, December 2nd. So, on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here, we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand life in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
Our opening words this morning are from Manish Mishra Marzetti. Between rocking the boat and sitting down, between stirring things up and peaceably going along,
we find ourselves here in community.
Each called from many different journeys, many different life paths, onto this river road.
Some are here because the rocking of the boat has been too much tumult, too much uncertainty, too much pain.
Some are here with questions about where the boat is going, how best to steer it, where this journey ends.
Others are here as lovers of the journey, lovers of life itself.
Here in front, beside, behind, each a passenger, each a captain, doing the best we can.
Rest here in your boat with me, the river calls. Listen to how I flow, the sound of life coursing all around you.
Let the current hold you. Let the current guide you. The river that gently flows through your soul whispers, "Come, let us worship." And our chalice lighting this morning is from Deborah Falk. A chalice lit in our midst is a symbol of our liberal faith, a faith built on the foundations of freedom, reason, and welcome, a faith sustained by acts of kindness and justice, a faith that envisions a world flourishing with equality for all people, a faith that demands living out of goodness, a faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is the symbol of the spark of all of this within each of us. Please rise now in body or spirit for our opening song, number 1. May nothing evil cross this door.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good to see you. What was that? Do you have this book at your house? Can you tell me what it's about? It's about a holiday that's happening right now. And it's 5 days long. 5 days, that's right, it's Diwali. Today is the third day of Diwali, which is when all of the big celebrations happen. And lots of people celebrate Diwali in different ways. We're going to learn about how the Buddhists, the Jains, the Sikhs, and the Hindus celebrate Diwali. And I've got some cool things to show you too. There might be some pictures in here for you to see. No? Harini takes off her winter coat and smooths the front of her linga. Today is a special day for many Indians. It is Diwali, the festival of lights. And I thought you might wonder what a lenga is. And here's a picture of a lenga. It's a dress that's worn on special occasions. It's got a big full skirt. It is so pretty. It's got a crop top, and then it's got a scarf called a dupatta. I'm going to set this here so you guys can look at it. Harini takes out her diya and some photographs and places them on her desk. I also brought a diya for you guys to see today. I brought 6, actually. Ooh. Yeah, so these are clay candles, oil lamps usually, that are lit during Diwali. So the other children begin to walk into the classroom. Harini is surprised to see that some of her friends are also dressed in special clothes. Amrit and Damin are wearing beautiful kurtas, and Urvi is wearing a red salwar kameez. So, this is a kurta. It's a long fitted shirt, usually worn over pants, and this is a salwar kameez. Also a long tunic top with some pants underneath. And do you guys remember what the scarf is called? A dupatta, that's right. You get a smiley face. Harini runs over to her friends and asks, "Do you celebrate Diwali too?" "Yes," they all answer at once. "I can't wait to share my Diwali story at circle time," Amrit adds. Harini waits impatiently for circle time. She is excited to hear her friends' stories and to tell everyone about Diwali. Finally, circle time arrives. When everyone's sitting on the carpet, Mrs. Lowe says, "Boys and girls, today is a very special day for many families. Today is Diwali. Does anyone have a Diwali story to share with the class?" Harini raises her hand and Mrs. Lowe calls her name. Carrying her diya, can you guys show me the diya? That's right. Harini goes to the front of the classroom. "My family is Hindu," Harini says. "We celebrate Diwali by lighting diyas like this one. We wear new clothes and eat lots of sweets." Harini's friend Anna looks at the diya. "How does it work?" "We put some oil in it and some cotton and light it like a candle." My mom tells me the story of Prince Ram, Sita, and Lakshman when we light our diyas. They had to live in a forest for many years, and they fought off an evil king. When they finally returned home, everyone celebrated. We celebrate with firecrackers, colorful rangoli, and prayers to Lakshmi. This is a rangoli.
I remember reading about that
Do
in
you,
homeschool.
you read about this? So a rangoli is placed in like a courtyard or on the sidewalk. Yeah. Here you go. You guys can pass that around and look at that too. But evil monsters, like superheroes, Jordan asks. Harini giggles. Ram and Sita were very strong and brave. I guess they were like superheroes. Nice, Jordan says. I liked when they fought the bad guys. How exciting, Harini. Thank you for sharing, says Ms. Lowe. Does anyone else here have a special Diwali story to share? Demon is feeling shy and nervous. He celebrates Diwali too, but in a different way from Harini. Will the other children say that his way is wrong? He raises his hand. Ms. Lowe nods and smiles at him. I celebrate Diwali too. He takes out a piece of paper from his pocket. I drew a picture. It's a picture of Ashoka, an emperor who lived a long time ago. He was powerful, but he was also very mean, and he fought a lot. When he realized he was hurting other people, he calmed down and stopped fighting and became a Buddhist. This is the story my family tells at Diwali. What a cool drawing, Zameen. How do Buddhists celebrate Diwali? Anna asked. We chant and remember Lord Buddha, Zameen says. My family celebrates Diwali in a different way too, Zameen, Irvi says. Zameen breathes a sigh of relief. He's not nervous anymore. Now he's curious to hear about how Irvi's family celebrates Diwali. Irvi jumps up and steps to the front of the room. I have a diya, just like you, Harini. My grandmother tells me the story of Prince Mahavira when we light our diyas. Prince Mahavira traveled all over India to share his wisdom and knowledge with everyone. We celebrate this day to mark the day he understood true happiness. Harini is surprised. Irvi has a diya just like hers, but she has a different Diwali story. My family is Jain. Jain families celebrate Diwali by fasting, singing songs, and meditating together, Irvi says. That is wonderful, Demon and Irvi. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Amrit is still waiting for his turn to share his Diwali story. Amrit, would you like to go next, Ms. Lowe asked? Yes, he is so glad it is finally his turn. Amrit shows his friends the painting he brought. I'm Sikh, and I also celebrate Diwali, and I have a different Diwali story. A long time ago, there was a strong warrior and hunter. His name was Guru Hargobind. He stood up for people to be treated fairly, but some people didn't like that, so they put him in jail. Oh no, Anna exclaims. Don't worry, Anna. They finally let Guru Hargobind free, and everyone celebrated. Like Harini's family, we celebrate with firecrackers and delicious food. My favorite part is wearing a special kurta like this one. You're all looking very handsome in your new kurta, Amrit. I love all the special Diwali outfits and stories. I wish I had a special outfit to wear, Anna says. Harini thinks for a moment. She takes off her dupatta. Where's the dupatta? That's right, the scarf. And places it on Anna's shoulders. Harini takes off her bangles and shares them with Anna. There you go, Anna. Now you have a special Diwali outfit of your own. Oh, thank you, Harini. I love it. When school is over, Harini races home. She's excited to light diyas with her mother. Amma will tell her the story of Ram and Sita, just like she does every Diwali. But this year, Harini will surprise her mother. She will tell Amma stories of Emperor Ashoka, Prince Mahavira, and Guru Hargobind. It will be the best Diwali yet. So you guys could celebrate Diwali this evening if you wanted to by lighting some candles around your house.
Can I take this home to light?
We might bring it to class and light it. How about that? Can you guys pick all my pictures for me and all the diyas? And let's sing our children to class. Thank you.
Will you join me now in a time of prayer and meditation? And our meditation this morning comes from Shaylee Gupta Barnes from the Kairos Center. This week, millions of Hindus and others around the world will be celebrating Diwali. Among the many traditions that are honored this time of year is the worship of the goddess Lakshmi. According to the creation myth, Lakshmi is one of the goddesses who emerges during the churning of the cosmic ocean. This event created numerous divine and terrible things, including the poisonous Hala Hala that was powerful enough to destroy all of creation. It was the goddess Parvati who prevented this destruction, saving all that existed and was yet to be. Lakshmi is celebrated as the goddess of wealth, but what she represents is far more than material wealth. Her 4 hands represent Artha, Dharma, Kama, and Moksha, or material well-being, morality, love, and liberation. These 4 aspects are inseparable in Lakshmi. That is, morality and well-being, love, and liberation are indivisible. One must accompany the other to realize its true potential. The world that Lakshmi promises is not yet our reality today. This is partly because we separate those 4 aspects and approach them individually. As a society, we have come to believe that it is through individual well-being that we achieve social well-being, and inversely, social ills reflect individual failures. This understanding is failing us. In our world, material needs are not met, even when the wealth and resources exist to meet these needs. Instead, wealth is concentrated among fewer and fewer people. What Lakshmi reveals to us, however, is a world that has become possible if we understand the 4 aspects as a whole. Let us feed the hungry. Let us provide shelter to everyone. Let us care for our resources for the generations that follow. Let us realize a new morality, guided by love and an enduring respect for life. And let us thereby be free. And now a prayer for Diwali. Om Jai Lakshmi. Goddess born from the struggle between good and evil, guide us toward the light. In a world where plenty is possible, let us end hunger, thirst, and homelessness. In your nurturing hands, let us seek refuge from want, fear, and violence. With your grace, let our world be reborn in your image, where all needs are met, where morality and love are abundant, and whereby we are free. Om Jai Lakshmi, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Autumn time, red leaves fall, while the weeping sky looks over all. Demeter sadly walks a land, the dying grasses in her hand. Autumn time, red leaves fall, while the weeping sky looks over all. Demeter sadly walks a land, the dying grasses in her hand. Autumn time, red leaves fall, while the weeping sky looks over all. Demeter sadly walks a land, the dying grasses in her weeping sky looks over all. Demeter sadly walks a land, the dying grasses over all. Demeter sadly walks a land, the dying grasses in her hand looks over all. Demeter sadly walks the land, the dying grasses in her hand.
Thank you, women in the round. It is now time for us to share our joys and sorrows with each other in verbal form or just in your heart. So in this welcoming community, we find connection by sharing these items of importance with ourselves and with the rest of the community. We'll start first here in Fellowship Hall. If you can come up to the microphone, state your name and your joy or sorrow. I will light a candle, and once everyone in the hall is finished, we will move to those who are joining remotely. So I'm going to light a final candle to remember those who have spoken, those who have not spoken, and all that we hold in our hearts in this caring community. Let us share a moment of silence together.
Will you join me now in our responsive reading? And your response is, we want to support it because. We want to support it because. There's only one reason for joining a Unitarian Universalist fellowship, and that is to support it. We want to support it because. It stands against superstition and fear. We want to support it because. This fellowship points to what is noblest and best in human life. We want to support it because. It is open to people of whatever religion, race, creed, color, place of origin, political affiliation, gender identity, or sexual orientation. We want to support it because. It's a place where children can learn that religion is for joy, comfort, gratitude, and hope. We want to support it because. It's a place where walls between people are torn down rather than built up. We want to support it because. It's more concerned with human beings than with dogmas. We want to support it because. It searches for the holy rather than dwelling upon the depraved. We want to support it because. It calls no one a sinner, yet knows how deep is the struggle in each person's breast and how great is the hunger for what is good. We want to support it because. It calls us to worship what is truly worthy of our sacrifice. And there is only one reason for joining a Unitarian Universalist fellowship, and that is to support it. And the people say, Amen.
That's okay.
We have the pleasure of welcoming 3 new members today to the fellowship. And I would like to, as I read their names, I'd like them to come forward, please, and sign our membership book. Sarah will hand you a flower and a special book that's a guide to Unitarian Universalism. And then if you'll come, when you come up, would you please remain in front too, because we have a congregational welcome for you. First person is Lori Allen. Lori has been involved in Unitarian Universalism for much of her adult life, including here as our religious education director for several years. Other UU churches she's been involved in include All Souls in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, First Unitarian in Des Moines, and the UU Church of Lincoln, Nebraska. Lori lives in Ames on Kellogg Avenue. Happy to have her back. Greg Carlson. Greg was first introduced to Unitarian Universalism at a church in northern Wisconsin. He is a talented handyman who can fix anything. That's true. He lives in Ames on Kellogg Avenue. Kellogg Avenue, in case those of you who don't know, is quite a Unitarian stronghold. Okay. Isaac Camito. Isaac has been attending our fellowship for many years. He's interested in video games, science fiction, and fantasy TV shows. From personal experience, I can say He's helped in the kitchen many times, and he will not leave until the last cup is washed.
And a special thanks to Cindy and Sarah, who have been so instrumental in the membership committee and welcoming new members. I now invite our three new members to begin reciting our new member covenant.
We enter this faith with hope and positivity in our hearts, pledging to participate in and support the ministries of this fellowship. We covenant to remain true to the spirit of love that flows through this fellowship and guides us. We seek your welcome as we join you in this faith.
And now the congregation responds with our part of the covenant. We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent dignity, your ideas, and your vision, in times when it is easy and in times when it is difficult. We seek to be supportive, not only when you reach out in courage to us, but also when you need us to reach out to you. In return, we ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals, and when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. We welcome you as an equal member of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared spiritual journey. Let's welcome our new members.
And now it's time to give and receive our offering. Please know that this morning, half of the non-pledge offering will be donated to the Ames Pet Food Pantry, also known as Bailing Out Benji. Our K-8 religious education students selected this recipient that helps families in need be able to keep their pets responsibly and with dignity. The pantry provides roughly 1,500 pounds of food each month. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship that make this a community of inspiration and transformation. We'll pass the basket here in Fellowship Hall. For those of you at home, you can visit uufames.org/give to make your contribution today. And if you are visiting today, please know that your presence here is gift enough.
Welcome, welcome. We are glad to have you here. We want to get to know you too. You are now a part of us. Welcome, welcome. We are glad to have you here. We want to get to know you too. You are now a part of us. Welcome, welcome. We are glad to have We are now a part of us.
Good morning, Central Iowa and beyond. My name is Reverend A.J. Galazin. I'm your interim minister. My pronouns are he and his. I want to welcome everyone who's joining us today, both here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Wherever you are on your spiritual, ethical, or questioning journey, you are welcome here. And if you are on Zoom today, please stay tuned. After today's service, I'll be going down to my office to connect with you at our Zoom community town hall. Next Sunday, we will celebrate an intergenerational cornbread and cider communion in honor of our relationship with our partner church in Tordotfalva, Romania. This is an invitation for the bakers among you to make wonderful cornbread and bring it next Sunday. Zoomers, please concoct your own bread and juice at home. Last week I spoke about those we loved and lost. May they rest in peace. Today we welcome to this community new members that have found us. May they bring their energy and honesty. By reaching out to our neighbors, we build a network of mutuality that extends beyond our grounds. And as we inspect our relationships, may we find some in need of repair and some that could benefit from our new materials. Today, I want to focus on building the protective structures that make this beloved community possible, a place of both safety and strength, a home of generosity and accountability. Years ago, I finally accomplished a longtime dream of mine. I built a spiritual retreat, a place of refuge deep in the woods. And although I didn't plan it this way, I'm delighted that you can't find my little house by looking at satellite images on Google Earth. My secret shelter is hidden under the evergreens. Being a novice builder, I relied on professional assistance from my sister and brother-in-law, whose construction experience helped me learn on the job with hammer and nails. I take full credit for the design, but I'm well aware that translating an idea into reality is a special skill that can only be learned by hands-on experience. But when my retreat was finished and I was alone in the woods, I realized something important was missing. I had forgotten to design a screen porch. In northern Wisconsin, the bugs are voracious. It's impossible to go outside for even a few minutes without being covered in ticks, mosquitoes, biting flies, and yellow jackets. I know you have bugs in Iowa, but they seem much kinder and gentler here. And so I set off to build my porch. The foundation was easy. Level a few concrete blocks, set some long, straight beams, and attach recycled floorboards. The walls were pretty simple too. Someone threw away an old aluminum screen door. It was perfect. I framed it with 2x4s and stapled screen to the sides. But I was vexed by the roof. I didn't have a clear solution in mind. Since I had some leftover screen, I decided a screen roof would be unique. It was great for ventilation, and I loved sitting under the screen looking up into the trees as the leaves fell. But when the rain came, It offered no protection. And when the snow fell, the weight buried the roof until it collapsed. The next spring, I decided to cover my porch with an old tarp. It kept me dry, but the wind loved to ruffle it, and after one big storm, the tarp ripped apart and blew away. Can you say duratio? I learned that word in Iowa. I went without any roof for a time, which allowed both rain and some high-flying bugs in, before I built a proper roof. With a ridge pole, fiberglass panels, with everything fastened tightly to the frame. It is held up now for several years, even with massive snow loads. Now, if this story sounds familiar to you, you may be right. After my experience, I wondered if I had just subconsciously repeated the tale of the three little pigs. Building with straw and sticks and bricks, with the mantra, I'll huff and puff and blow your house down. Some of you are probably wondering why I just didn't build a proper roof right from the beginning. Good question. I don't think I knew what I really needed or what I really wanted. I was relying on the materials I had readily available. I underestimated the forces of nature. And I enjoyed the creative wonder of experimentation with each new plan. If at first I didn't succeed, I would try again. This beloved community here at the UU Fellowship of Ames has built a sturdy shelter for peace, love, and justice. But it is also a structure that is still under construction. It will never be fully completed. Unitarian Universalists believe that our church, however expansive and inclusive, is never the final answer. We are first and foremost a laboratory of the Spirit, a place of sacred exploration and discovery. We say, revelation is not sealed. Louis Untermeyer's poem that became our hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door, speaks of the essential elements of our religious structure. The doors that welcome, the windows that illuminate, the rafters that withstand, and the hearth that warms. One of the primary motivations of the founders of this fellowship was to provide liberal religious education for the children. And today, while many churches have diminished their Sunday schools, programs for children and youth are still thriving here. This doesn't just happen. It was in the design. It was put together one bit at a time, part of the structure that you have built together, part of the shelter you offer to this community. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. What are these rafters? Your covenant might be the ridgepole, forming a connection with all the others, including worship, pastoral care, religious education, social justice, membership, music, the board, generosity, celebration, remembrance, dedication, kindness, transparency, and forgiveness. Now, I urge you to be gentle with your criticism if some of these rafters are not as strong as you like. These are difficult times. Some of us are missing in action, and a spirit of compromise and cooperation can provide the needed support. It is possible for some rafters to carry more of the load temporarily, but over time, it's important to share the burden fairly to avoid weakening the entire structure. Each member has a vital role to play, including new members. New members, raise your hand right now. Okay. We see you. Today, the various teams and committees that need your help to keep this whole house together welcome you after the service, to stop by and get to know them. The old expectation that every member should find a place to help out still holds true. Your assignment this week, should you choose to accept it, is to consider the symbolism of the foundation, the walls, and the roof of this fellowship and ask, where do you fit in this blueprint? The foundation or the floor might represent the past, the history, the inheritance from the sacrifices of the founders. To be anchored to a sense of gravity with an even keel. The foundation could also be the generosity of your contributions. The walls might represent this present moment. Are these walls open, transparent, and welcoming? Or are they closed, opaque, a mighty fortress of separation? And what ethics or boundaries do these walls invite? The roof might represent the future. A proper shelter needs some protection for a rainy day. The roof is an investment for times beyond the clear skies of this moment. The roof is striving for what we hope to leave behind after we have left this place. The roof was the hardest part for me to build because the future seems so far away, and yet it is tomorrow. We are left with very little shelter without something for the future. What is your strategic planning? Where will this fellowship be in 5 years? And while I've used a lot of architectural images today to talk about the structures of this beloved community, please know that this fellowship is not just a physical shelter. People often say, it's not the building, it's the people. And for those of you on Zoom, it's really not about the building, it's about the people. So thank you for your patience as we navigate the uncharted territory of providing virtual shelter as we build a multi-platform, multicultural congregation. And people on Zoom, please remain, and I will join you for the Zoom Community Town Hall. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in. May it be so, and amen. Please rise now in body or spirit for our closing song 401, Kumbaya.
Sing, Lord,
Thank you, Amber, for all the extra verses. Our closing words today are from Reverend Leslie Takahashi. Walk the maze within your heart. Guide your steps into its questioning curves. This labyrinth is a puzzle leading you deeper into your own truths. Listen in the twists and turns. Listen in the openness within all searching. Listen. A wisdom within you calls to a wisdom beyond you, and in that dialogue lies peace. We extinguish this flame, but not the eternal search for truth in this free-flowing fellowship. Go now in peace.